It looks like Victoria isn't... Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
Do you know where I can find Sergeant Diaz?
Sergeant Diaz is out of town, but don't ask me where she is.
I guess you don't even know when she's coming back.
That's right. If you really want to know...
Dannazione. I'd like to talk to Malone again.
Del Nero.
I was looking for Sergeant Diaz.
Sergeant Diaz isn't here. I thought it'd be better to assign her to a...
Afraid that she...
In the situation, she paid your bail.
A guy who claimed...
Don't make up
I never said he was a police officer. The owner of my apartment...
I don't understand why you're telling me this, Del Nero.
I gave up a long...
Careful with what you say and tell me what you want.
I have reason to believe that the person who paid me this visit is part of a criminal org...
Yeah, it looks like you have a... I suggest you take it...
What crap?
It looks like Black Lily was on it.
Black Lily? The mob in Los Angeles?
Exactly, Del Nero. It looks like you're...
Yeah.
If you want protection...
I'd rather be
Now the choice...
Goodbye.
See you soon, Del Nero.
Black Lily was after Sean. It's not as bad as you might think. At least I need to find some info. A while ago, I got a journalist. Maybe he'll be able to give me some...
Ah, you...
Essex.
Whatever you...
A manual on processing jade. I must have been A manual on processing jade, an essay on sleepwalking, and a treatise on the story of the Knights Templar. I must have been drunk when I bought these books. I don't have any idea what's in... There's nothing in... Maybe another time. The only useful thing on this... I should be able to find Moore's number in the phone book. Let's see if I can find Moore's telephone number in the phone book. Moore. I just remembered the last name, but he had a pretty unusual first name. I'll remember it if I see it written. Violetta Moore. That's the name. What kind of name is Violetta for a guy? Anyway, his number is 555-4897. I hope he's still alive. This guy has a real...
New York operator.
Can you dial a number for me?
Can't you buy yourself one of those new telephones with the numbers?
I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy.
Huh.
Violetta Moore, 555-4897.
Coming up.
Hello?
Am I speaking with Violetta Moore?
You're talking with his ghost.
It's the middle of the night.
I'm Del Nero.
Del Nero.
I see you still
Hell, you saved my skin in that story with the syndicates. How you doing?
Same old.
Bottle in the hand and...
More or less.
You must have a good reason to...
I need some info.
Well, you give me a name and I'll tell you all...
Do you know an
Damn. You don't mess around. It's better not to step on those guys' toes if you don't want to find yourself neck-high in shit.
What do you know about them?
Black Lily is one of the strongest mafia families in Los Angeles. In the mid-1920s, they figured out that no contrabands are... In Los Angeles, they...
Do you have any...
How many do you want, bud? The head of the organization. Venanzi is an attorney...
And who greases the...
A half-Canadian called...
Samuel Cutter.
You definitely read about him. He was tried for the murder of... But he made a mistake.
What do you mean?
Cutter bought off every... Nowadays, the palms cut a greasing palm.
What happened to Cutter?
That's the best. Cutter was found in it.
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he was locked up, and this sent the entire...
So they all say...
That's right, Jack. Cutter's death was his...
Well, at least... And if he has ever been... Do you know any...
No, pal. This name...
Definitely not. Did you ever hear the name...
Sean McLean? No, pal. Nothing. Never heard...
Thanks for the info.
No problem, pal. If you...
Where you want?
The police department, Hoboken.
We see.
The police archives could be a good place to look for information on this Samuel Cutter that Moore was talking about. I'm sure that there's a nice thick file. A card reader. It's the first time I've seen one. Swipe your card in that thing and it tells you if you are allowed to get in or not. It's all simple if you have a card. Hi, officer.
How can I help?
I have some...
What do you want to know?
How can I...
Simple. A signature on a... Buddy, access to...
What's that
They put it here a few... Old Sam, who managed the archives, retired. And rather than...
How does it work?
Every officer has a... The machine recognizes...
So, every officer... I don't have...
Better.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, I don't see any other option. Yes, let's see if I can find this damned access card for the archives. There's some kind of combination that locks the last drawer. The combination was the Mexican flag, Victoria and her sentimentality. The advertisement of a ferry, maybe that's where Malone. The card to get into the archives, I'll take it. I hope that Victoria doesn't get upset if I take her card for a while. As they say, open sesame. Interesting. If you put the name of the person you're looking for in this sort of calculator, you get the number of his file. I wonder what old Sam would think if he knew he'd been replaced. Samuel Cutter's file is 6120057. I should remember it. All the files on the people. Everyone has. Folder 6120057. Samuel Cutter. Here you are, Samuel Cutter. It's a summary of the trial where Cutter was accused of murdering 4. In this city, your innocence. Samuel, attorney, jailed on May 7th, Here's the report on Cutter's incarceration. It looks like it's the work of that snake, Malone. Like Moore said, after his arrest, many others from Black Lily were arrested too. The boss and his... Patrick Olson's... That's the same name Victoria mentioned when she was talking. Patrick Olson's file is 6088090. File 6088090. Patrick Olson. Let's see what I can find. Patrick Olson, a gardener. This man's profile doesn't really seem... His arrest report. He was with his family when they arrested him for a regular gardener without any record who... The report is just a bunch of pointless bureaucrats. Newspapers. The New York Voice, to be precise. As soon as it's printed, at least a dozen copies are filed here, for research. I'll look for the addition. It's the date of the bombing of Rick's Cafe that Patrick Olson was blamed for. There must be more information about it. Here's the article about the bombing. The article says that at 12:23 a.m., an explosion, 3 people died. The cafe's owner, a woman walking by, and August Zindler, 58 years. Zindler. Profdannazione. It's the same name that was. So far, these visions have always been correct.
Let me get.
The Civic Museum, Central Park.
We see